In this video, I'm going to show you how to draw a German Shepherd step by step. Let's get started. All of the art supplies used in this video are linked down in the description. I really recommend you use a set of pencils like I have here because you have many different grades and it's going to make your drawing look a lot better. For the outline, you could click on the link in the description where you could print out the outline. It's totally free and you can follow along. First, starting off, I'm going to outline the eye with an 8B pencil and shade in the pupil with 2 layers, using side-to-side strokes because it's going to make it less grainy and darker. Then I sharpened the pencil and drew these lines in the eye, which is the reflection in the eye. Now I'm going to teach you how to draw fur. Pay attention closely. Step 1, outline where you're drawing the fur, which I did here. But do it lightly, otherwise it's going to look weird when you're done. Next, shade the base layer, make it light so it doesn't overpower the fur, then blend it. Then you can use a brush or a blending stump. I use the brush. Step 3, you have to make your pencil really sharp and draw each hair one by one, and continually sharpen your pencil so that the hairs stay thin. I recommend you pause or skip back so you can follow along well. Drawing is all about taking your time, so take your time. Now this part right here I highlighted with an 8B pencil, then I outlined where I was going to draw the next batch of fur. And with a B grade pencil, I drew the fur. And I also used a mono zero eraser for the highlights. Something I use that's really good for drawing small details is a mechanical pencil. It's sharp, thin, reusable, and really inexpensive. You could get some for as little as $2. Moving on, I'm using a 8B pencil for shading this part up here and blending it with a brush. And draw the fur above the eye using the 8th grade pencil and the mechanical pencil. For this top part, you first start with the base layer using an HB pencil and then use an 8B pencil to add darker shades and details to the fur. After that, I shaded this part up here with a 5B pencil and then blended it to give the area a base shade with a brush, and drew the rest of the fur in the area with a mechanical pencil, mono zero eraser, and 8B pencil. Now for this top part of the nose, I shaded a base layer using what's left on the brush, and using the mono zero eraser to add base highlights, then draw the details on top. This video is a collaboration with the Viking Goods Company. They sell creative and high-quality apparel, specifically with animal designs, and my favorite design is the Black Raven Soft Style Tee, and they're offering my viewers 15% off using the code ATLArtStudio at checkout. I'll have links to their products down in the description. Back to the tutorial, I next used a B grade pencil to shade in a portion here with a light to dark gradient, then moved further to the left to draw more fur on the left side using the B pencil, and the mechanical pencil, also blending the base layers with a brush and further adding details. Next, I shaded this lower left side with the 8B pencil and blended it, also creating a dark gradient. And moving on, as for the right side, I shaded this entire part of the mouth with a B pencil and then blended. Back to the left side of the fur, here I tried to create a fluffy fur effect by using a very sharp pencil and then drawing lightly while keeping each hair very close together and blending each layer. After that, I finished working on drawing the rest of the fur on the snout using the mechanical pencil. After finishing the base layer of hair, I added highlights using short strokes with the mono zero eraser and enhanced the details further. Now it's time for the right side eye. First I outlined where I'll be working on next using a light pencil, then shaded the iris of the eye using an 8B pencil. I shaded with a circular motion so that it ends up less grainy. To add reflections in the eye, I used a white Jelly Roll pen, but you could use a highlight pen or an electric eraser if you have one. Then to finish off the eye, I used the brush to blend the remaining white layer, which made the outer edges darker so that it creates more depth. And you could do this by shading in a concentrated area for longer. Moving on, this top part here should be shaded with a 8B pencil using the side-to-side shading method. When it came to shading this top part up here, I used what's called an embossing stylus to make indentions in the paper, then shaded over it so that it creates strong white highlights for the fur. But if you don't have one, you could use the same methods for drawing fur that we've been using. Next, I shaded this portion with a B pencil and shaded it, then created a light to dark gradient with the fur that gets darker as it gets closer to the edge. And finally, for this part of the eye, I used an 8B pencil to shade in this portion of fur to the right using a circular motion method of shading. Moving downwards now, I used the embossing stylus, mono zero eraser, and an HB pencil to draw this section of fur. These could be replaced by your average pencil, a sharp eraser, and maybe a closed pen for the indenting stylus, but I'll leave you to experiment with that. As for this lower part, I used the mechanical pencil to get a thinner and fluffier look to the fur here, as well as using a combination of the 8B pencil for details, and the brush to blend it. For this portion under the ear, I first started by outlining where I'll be working, then I only used a 5B pencil to draw all the fur up here. The hairs all curve slightly downward, and the furs higher up get straightened out as you get closer to the left side. As for the rest of the hair up top, it's all just light fluffy hair that you could draw using the HB pencil, and the mono zero eraser for the highlights, but as you go further up, just know that the hair gets darker. This could be achieved using a 3B or 5B pencil. Though the middle section of this part of the fur gets darker as we get to the center, I used the darkest pencil I have, which is an 8B pencil, also touching it up with some highlights. Last but not least, the ears. First, I started by shading a base layer with a B grade pencil and adding shadows with the 5B pencil, then blending each layer so that it ended up with a nice finish. And in the center part of the ear, I created a dark to light gradient which goes left to right and added some highlights. For the other ear, I did the same, B pencil for the base layer, blend that, and use the 8B pencil for the shadows and other details. Now down over here there's a bit of a fluffy part, so I used the mechanical pencil and drew each hair very closely together, then blend it so that it creates a more fluffy effect. Moving more to the right of the ear, this part is very white, so I used the embossing stylus to create indentations into the paper that drew over it with the 8B pencil, and finished it with the mono zero eraser. As for the rest of the neck and body, I continued to draw the dark and light parts of fur using B, 8B, and 5B pencils for the base layer and hairs, then using blending stumps and the soft dry brush for the blending, and certain details down over here on the right side of the fur. The soft dry brush is very good for creating a nicely blent soft finish to drawing, so I generally use it to blend fur and base shades. Once you finally finish the drawing, don't forget to add your signature and the date, and if you want to, you could try drawing this again, because every time you draw, you learn something new, and you improve something from last time. That's how I learned to draw this good, drawing the same thing over and over, and watching other people's tutorials and people that were better at me and studying the methods they used. So, if you enjoy this video, please leave a like, and if you want to see more content like this, please subscribe to my channel. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in my next video.